it's me, Erin. Thanks for joining us on the More Love podcast. Do not tell Rebecca, but this podcast is about empathy. She likes people to think she's dead inside, but the truth is she's a big-time feeler who has truly helped me uncover that empathy is my superpower. Oh, here she comes.
Hey, bestie.
Hi, love.
What are you doing?
Oh, just getting ready to host a podcast.
A podcast? About what?
Life. Our life as best friends who are more like sisters.
Ah, yay! I love us, and I can't wait to share our stories with the world.
Especially the ones that involve us pushing each other, right? To be our most authentic selves.
Oh, man. Okay.
Scott. It's cold in here.
It's the fan. Did you just remote control it from over in there?
Oh, well, that's next level. Oh, no.
Here's remote control.
Wait, I just need to be really clear. You're telling me that this remote right here, next to me is what was controlling the fan?
In theory, I don't know if it works.
Oh, okay.
It's off now.
And instead of pushing the button, we had to have you come in and turn the fan off for us.
Yes, because the studio is so large, it took me 7 minutes to walk over there.
We did all the point checks except the fan.
I know.
And then all of a sudden I was like,
the door
ooh,
shut.
A little cool.
The door shut. And I'm like, woo, that is a little chilly.
I know. Well, and we're recording in the morning, so I have my iced coffee.
I know.
Which means extra cold.
But you know what? In 3 minutes, when you get a hot flash,
I know.
You're going to say, Scott,
I know.
turn the fan on.
I know.
Push the button. Push the button.
Remember yesterday when we were eating lunch and I got a hot flash so bad my spray tan was melting, literally coming off, and I had to wipe it in the restaurant.
With all the napkins.
Yeah.
I'm like, your spray tan is going, it's all over.
It was on the chair. It was
all over.
everywhere.
It was on the chair. It was down your ankles. It was like an ice cream cone dripping down your arm.
But I tried to convince you that it was hangover.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
I'm like, no, this is just a hangover. You're like, I don't think it is.
I'm not sure, but could we please go through what did you eat yesterday? How much water did you consume? At what time did you start drinking? Like the health promotion professional in me is like, let's go through all the things.
And then we deducted it was a hot flash.
It's a hot flash.
Do you know that I went home and I read all about perimenopause?
I'm positive.
All about it.
That you read about
and
it.
I was like, this can't be. I didn't realize that when you are in menopause, that means you just don't get your period.
Yeah. Well, I'm okay. Say more about that. I do. I'm curious. What did you think happened in menopause?
That's when it begins.
What begins?
The hot flashes, the dwindling of the period.
You think that one day you wake up and it's like, happy menopause day. And boom, that's when all of the hot
things start
flashes
happening.
and things. No,
yes.
No.
I did not know there was a pre-thing, which is where the things happen.
There's a lot about this right now. It could be lasting for years and years and years. I know. Thanks for breaking us in.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Because you're older than I am, that you're going to have to go through this first.
It's not okay.
But I will say,
I thought I was just getting fatter. I'm like, and we have the meat sweats. That's what I thought it was.
Meat sweats.
As we're about to eat pizza.
You did get the Cobb salad too, so that's probably better. But no, I know that my heat index is a little off because the fan in our bedroom at night is on like
full blast
jet speed. It sometimes is so loud it wakes me up in the middle of the night, and then I'm like, oh, it's okay though. I need that. I need that on. So, we're entering that time in life.
I think we need to move.
You are, but I am. Year behind you.
A year.
At least.
10 days, but it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. I mean, there is technically a year gap, I guess. We were born in different years.
Yes, correct. I know.
10 days apart, but different years.
It's fine, but they were different years.
Actually, I think it's more than 10 days. I think it's 14.
Yeah. right?
I'm not sure
I
how
don't know.
many
I've
days
never
are
done
in
the math. We
me
make it
neither.
up every single
I know.
time. Some days
2
it's
weeks.
6, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 8. I know.
Just how long we know each other.
What's this thing I have in front of me right here? This looks a little something new. You got us something?
I did. I have upgraded. I've upgraded from our mermaid tarot cards.
Okay.
And I have gone all in to the empathy and dreaming tarot cards.
Wow.
Do you know there's a lot of things, if you Google empathy, there's a lot of paraphernalia.
Really?
Yes. I was trying very hard to find some sort of coffee cup that had something about empathy on it for you. That's the original intention of going down the rabbit hole. And because I wanted to have something that was like really sweet and awesome for you. And then for me was like,
yep,
inappropriate. And I couldn't find anything. And then I got down this rabbit hole and had to buy all the things.
Yeah.
So when you see that charge on your credit card, just ignore it.
Okay. Yeah, that's my favorite part. You're like, so I was trying to find you a really sweet empathy mug, and I don't know how this happened, but all of this tarot stuff just ended up in my own cart. So,
and then I had to get it.
Yeah, right.
So when you see that bill, just pay it.
Yeah. Okay. Like usual. Yeah. Like every other
Just
time.
ignore it. It's not a fraudulent charge. It
yeah.
happened.
Yeah. That's my favorite is when I'm not sure if it's a fraudulent charge, I call
me.
you first. Hey, did you buy this on my card?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I was about to call the bank. So, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to do yours first.
This? What is this card deck here? If
So
it's not mermaids, it's what?
We each have one. Mine is an actual tarot card. So this is called the Star Seeker.
Okay.
And it's pretty. That's why I got it.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah. Is it
purple
pink? Oh,
and
pink and purple.
it has
Champagne
stars.
color. Yeah.
And it has really cool women angel
Oh, great.
pictures.
That's
Except
perfect.
these ones that you picked today are a little on the goth side. So
Well-
I'm a little concerned about what we're going to be talking about. But
Just channeling my energy.
you had to go with 2. You're like, these are calling me. So we're going to be drawing these and talking about these and setting our intentions for our podcast today. But then you have the Dreamer deck with an affirmation. So you get to pull that, and that's going to be our guiding star. So you can pick any card you want.
The Dreamer's deck. 40 beautifully designed affirmation cards for those who have a dream or purpose calling to them. Each card offers a compassionate and empowering reminder of who you are and what you know.
We need to reinforce that. By the way, we haven't told the story of how we made vision boards. Last year, we got together and we made vision boards after we saged each other. And then we cut out all the things and made these vision boards, and they yours sat in front of you the whole year. Mine sat in front of me. I don't remember really looking at it ever, back and forth, whatever. And then randomly on your birthday, I said, guess what, Buttercup? We're going to get tattoos. And you're like, what? And I said, we're doing it. And you're like, well, I want a word. And you went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I think we went through about 15 words before you finally landed on one, which came out of
nowhere.
left field.
Completely nowhere.
And you were like, that's it. And what is it?
Now.
Show everybody your tattoo. It says now. So I was like, oh my God, that's absolutely it. Didn't you get home that night? And
Looked on my vision board.
And what did it say?
Left-hand side corner says in huge cursive letters, it looks just like this. Now.
What? We manifested that.
What?
Didn't even realize it, right?
It says now.
That was the word all along. And so we constantly...
Careful with your we here. Careful with your
that's
we
what
here.
I'm trying to explain. So I've always been into this hippy dippy kind of things, and I would bring them up casually over the years, and you'd be like, okay. And we are now full blown in. Like
again, careful with the we.
I am full blown in. Yeah, she is in denial.
I am in denial, but also completely supportive of you.
Yes.
Of all of the things.
Yes, and so it got to the point where when we have these questions, these like big, large questions, immediately we consult the pendulum.
Again, we.
You call me with the questions and I say, let me ask the pendulum.
Yes,
so here's
right.
the pendulum.
I just want to be really clear here.
Do you see how pretty this one is?
That when I call you,
Yeah.
about things that are really important.
No, really important.
Right.
I go to the pendulum.
Right. But I'm not calling you to consult the pendulum. I don't want you to give the listeners the idea that I'm trying to think of something really big.
Isn't this why you called me?
But I'm never like, hey, I'm just curious. I have this massive decision I need to make. Could you please take out the pendulum? What happens is I'm like, I have a massive decision I need to make and we need to talk about it. And within 4 seconds, you're like, I got the pendulum out and this is what the pendulum says.
And then we dissect it. And how often has it been wrong?
I don't know. I'm not keeping track of that.
I am keeping track of it.
This is a psychology term called confirmation bias.
I don't care what it is. It's my decision maker. Should I wear the black shirt or the white shirt? Okay.
Yeah. It'd be fine if those were the questions that we were asking the pendulum.
Like, should we have another baby? Yeah. Should we quit our job and get a new one? That's what we ask the pendulum. And without a doubt, I follow the pendulum.
Always.
Every single time.
Yep, absolutely.
When it's the most risky, jump right in.
Just grab the pendulum and go.
So I've now brought all the things here so we can utilize. So now we can just basically recreate our morning phone calls.
Good.
On the,
Good.
I was going to say on the air, like we're on radio. Right. So, all right. So you pull your.
I have to do mine now.
Yeah.
You think now's the time?
It's that we're setting the intention.
Wow. I just noticed a shift. I felt a shift. Okay.
Okay.
This says,
but I'm the hokey pokey one.
I know. Listen, one of us needs to take the fall for this, and it's not me.
Okay, me. It's
okay. You have a role. Okay. This says, I know collection. You may know who you are. I'm sorry. You may know who you are and you may not. That's why you need the cards. It does not say that at all. It says, may you know who you are. Should I shuffle these?
You can do whatever you want.
I shuffle them like a deck of cards.
This is your spirit.
Get loud up in
your
here.
Spirit is. Yeah. It's the spirits around you. Remember, you have a bunch of men.
Oh yeah.
Remember that woman?
I know.
Sometime we'll tell that story of how we went to get a reading.
What I actually thought the story was that you were going to tell is that when I started reading this, each card offers a compassionate and empowering reminder of who you are. What I thought you were going to talk about is the time that I signed us up for the voice.
Oh, yeah.
The voice, what was it? Voice recording?
Voiceover acting.
Voiceover acting. Because I thought, I always like to have something on the back burner, and I think this would be really cool. So I signed us up for one of those continuing ed voice actor classes, and we went to it, and you had no idea we were going there. And then we made up names.
You signed us up under different names.
Because... So I think that's a thing maybe people do. I don't know. I
don't think so.
I mean, what if you're famous?
I mean, you got to have a stage name.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody finding where I live.
That's right. Because then they want you to record all the commercials.
I know. That's stalker territory there.
I know.
I may borderline want a stalker.
You do not. I can't.
Like a nice one that's hot.
Well... I think it works like that.
Oh, you can't pick your own stalker? Like that.
So anyway, we did this voice recording class, and what you did was they gave you this thing to read, and then when you got done reading it, they analyzed it
in front of everybody,
and then told you what your prime market was. Do you remember what your prime market was?
I don't.
What?
I don't.
I do.
Mine?
No.
Oh, yeah. Yours?
No, I remember mine, like the back of my hand.
What was it?
There's 2. Okay. Number 1, children's books.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This voice was made for children's books. Okay. But then my favorite, which I think really fits me perfectly, is that he said I would be really great at knowledge and information-based, infomercials. For instance,
Viagra?
AAA. Anything that anyone needed to know. You mean those
commercials that are side effects include?
Yeah. Yes. But also things like, you can trust AAA for all of your guidance on all of your future trips. There's something about my voice that apparently conveys a sense of trust and like guidance, and it's okay, we can follow her.
Wow.
So this might be the closest we ever get to any type of,
information.
Like
that is pretty funny.
voiceover, whatever. But
That was a long time ago.
I want people to know I'm available for hire.
I know. Always.
So.
Always.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you,
All the time.
after that, went and made a demo.
Oh, I probably did.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's still in your, it's probably right next to all your glue sticks.
Oh, I got a couple glue sticks. I have a lot of glue sticks.
Hot glue-
It might be a
hot glue
problem.
gun
It
sticks.
might be a problem. All
And
right.
shower caps.
And shower cap. Oh, I know.
When they used
We
to give
stopped
showers
collecting
at the
those.
hotels.
I know. Oh, gosh. I'll never forget the time that you and Becky Boyle came over to my house. You started to go through my closets and were like, you have a problem and you're an organized hoarder.
Yes.
But the number of shower caps that you have in here is insane. Number one, how many times do you use a shower cap? Number two, why do you have so many? And you made me get rid of, I think, all but maybe two. Do I still have the two? Sure do.
Well, they don't give them to you at a hotel anymore.
No, because no one ever uses
I
the
know.
shower cap.
I know.
Okay, I got the Dreamers deck. You want me to do this right now? Pick just one.
Yeah. This is what you need to hear for today.
Do I need to pick one for you too?
No, it's what we need to hear. We share a brain.
Oh. Ooh, I'm having I got to spread them out. This is weird. It's this one. Okay, ready?
Stop it. What?
I can't.
Stop it.
Why do these happen?
Well, wait till we get to these. Oh, no.
It says, I am capable.
Are you going to cry?
I can't.
Are you?
Stop. And then at the top it says, I know that I have everything it takes to build the life of my dreams. I can't.
Do you have those gloves? All right, you want to do these now?
Can't.
So you picked,
No, I don't know if I can handle it.
I think we need to talk about it because you picked these tarot cards too.
What does that one say?
Just so we're clear, you are capable
Thank you.
and you have
Thank
everything
you.
you
I
need.
really am trying really hard.
I know. You're building the team. You're making it happen.
I'm only capable because of you. Otherwise, it'd be in a corner somewhere. Giving up doing AAA commercials.
We will thank the pendulum for all of the guidance. Okay, so you picked these cards and you needed, the energy told you had to have two. The first one is the Knight of Swords, and it is a man looking thing with a sword. And then the second one is the Five of Swords with two women. I'm assuming that is going to be important. So we're going to do the Knight of Swords first since you picked that one first. So this says, an ambitious knight prepares to storm the training field, wishing in earnest it was a battlefield instead. He thirsts to prove his skills in real fight, although he's only been training for a few short years. His competitive nature and natural intelligence have pushed him forward quickly, although he always seems to be fixated on what comes next. I know. The Knight of Swords invites you to channel your inhibition and charge forward into confident action. Do you need a tissue?
Okay.
I do need a tissue. Regardless, first of all, I need some readers. Look how small this is.
Yeah. Again, age.
Regardless of your experience level, this is a time for you to go what you want. Go for what you want. Your natural gifts, ambition, and intellect will compensate for your limited knowledge.
Stop it.
The Knight of Swords can also be warning.
Scott shared Scott shared his readers. You need to put them.
Oh my God, they actually work.
I can. Oh my God,
Oh, no,
that's
they do not.
fantastic. Those look great.
I can't.
Those look great. Can you get them on there?
I can't with my
because
headphones.
of your headphones.
Hilarious. I'll do it
Oh.
next. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All right. The Knight of Swords can also be a warning to think before you speak or act. Sometimes this chapter character jumps into action before properly thinking things through. Don't be reactive at this time, and be careful not to let your ambition result in a cutthroat competition. The Knight of Swords may embody a part of you or another person in your life. It will depend on your reading and what makes sense for you.
Yeah, you want to know what my reading is? You're the one they're talking to at the end where they're like, don't speak up too soon. Loosey lips.
I know.
Don't do that. But I'm the one that's like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I running a successful business? Sure. Do I know what the heck I'm doing? Not always. Nope. We just lean into that. And it says, trust your natural talents. Yep, you're going to be totally fine. Did anyone in the world think that I was going to be an entrepreneur? Nope.
Well, I did.
Yeah, you.
I know.
It says on my LinkedIn profile, like I cry at Disney on Ice. Right? Like I'm moved to tears by that mouse on skates. But you know what? Let's have her run the company. She's going to be really great. She's going to be really great.
Nailing it. It's natural instinct. It's who you are meant to be. Okay, but you also picked the supplemental.
What I'm hearing that say is don't just be jumping to be like, I can't do this. Embrace the confidence of we got this and we're doing it. And we are. But I still think that surprises me on a daily basis.
I agree too, because I don't think you have fully accepted who you actually are.
I agree.
We are on this journey of self-acceptance.
I know. And here you are. You're like the lighthouse. You're like flashing the light. I've been flashing it for years, for a really long time. Right. And then I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's it. But thank you very much. I'm just going to keep staying the course, right? And then all of a sudden I'll gear toward the light a little bit. And I'll be like, you know what? I have an idea. I think I'd be. And you're like, are you? Really? Waves are crashing. Right. Seagulls flying.
Right. The current is like pulling you.
Yeah.
And you're just like, no, veer.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I wonder what this is going to say.
Okay.
With the two girls.
One? Okay. She's got a sword.
5 swords.
5 swords. That's even better.
5 swords.
Yep.
2 figures turn to walk away, hearts full of regret and sorrow. A wall of swords has been built between them and a former loved one, and nothing can be said to bring down the barrier. After much struggle and pleading, the 2 women turn to leave. Sadly, there is nothing left to be said or done. The man on the other side of these swords watches them leave with satisfaction, feeling triumphant. How are you going to throw up right now? I can't. However, as the days pass, he grows lonely and soon comes to regret pushing away the ones that he loved, or the ones that loved him. The 5, stop, I can see you out of the corner of my eye. I can see your face. The 5 of Swords indicates an ego-driven conflict that is driving a wedge between yourself and what is right. This could manifest as a disagreement between yourself or others, or between your own ego and spirit. You may be clinging to a certain opinion, habit, or way. I'm going to throw up. Ugh. You may be clinging to a certain opinion, habit, or way of thinking that benefits you in the short term, but doesn't truly align with the needs of your soul. Step back and deeply consider the consequences of your actions at this time. Are the steps you're taking putting you on the best path? Are your actions in line with what is right, or are they more reflective of what you want right now?
And that's the show.
There it is,
folks.
There it is.
And that's it. It's no longer the more love.
Do we ask the pendulum if the cards are correct?
No longer the more love. We now just do astrology.
Do Erin and I need to listen to these cards? Do you see that? Do you see it? It is clearly indicating yes, we do. Would you like to discuss anything that just happened?
No, I don't want to talk about any of it.
Okay, sounds like you're on my side of the fence.
I know. I don't like that.
You do. It's exactly what you needed to hear.
Exactly what I knew it was going to say. Incredible. And then my affirmation card.
Do you see how they're all connected? And do you see how this is what's so cool when you have a common ground with someone and you're able to discuss these things, because then you let these other tools come into your life to kind of reinforce some of the energy or some of the inner pull that you have. And then this is able to articulate it so vague, but yet so clear. When I'm reading that, I know our brain is thinking the exact same thing. And that's mind blowing. It's very rare that we pull a card and we're like, I'm not sure what that is speaking about.
Or 3 days later, or like, remember the card?
I know. And what I also find, I don't know if you notice, but when we are intentional and do these kinds of things, specifically when we get together in the morning and then we set these intentions and then we just go about our day, it's the same concept as the vision board with your tattoo. We get to the end of the day and then we reflect and we're like, oh my God, can you believe that? Or something crazy happens, like we have a random meeting and something came out of it. I remember pulling a card when I worked for the charity. Well, I still worked for the charity, but when I was at a fundraising event, I pulled a card and it said abundance or magical or something. And it said, you were going to come into a flood of money. And we raised $200,000 that day. We anticipated raising 10 grand.
Crazy.
Is that nuts?
I know. It is nuts. I can't help the scientific practitioner mind of mine struggles. I'd like to, this is my call out, that in my undergraduate thesis, it was why people believe what they believe when it comes to paranormal and pseudoscientific phenomenon. Okay? The whole thesis was about all of this stuff.
I know.
And here I am, full circle, like, get out the pendulum, pull the card. Are you sure that just said what it said? Right? And so
we're clear 10 minutes ago, you didn't want to be lumped into this.
It's still not a week. It's still not a week.
So, all right, those are our intentions for the day.
Okay. Well, they've been set. Let's just say that. I do think that gives me another show idea, that we should really bring together people who are business owners or who are like non-traditional, like didn't expect to be in this type of role, business owners who also lead from the heart. Because I really think there's something to say about being a business owner who cares so deeply about the success of that business for its clients and also for the people who work for that business, while also just being such a highly sensitive, caring, empathic person. And often I think people have better boundaries or sort of guidelines when they are business owners around what that all looks like. But how do you bring that all together in such a way that ultimately I know and I have seen it benefits the clients, it benefits the 3.5 million people we support nationwide. I love that. And also, there's some parts of business that just are not well formatted for that type of personality.
It's a good point. I think that's why coaches exist, because they need to, I don't think it's natural. I think when you think business, you think cutthroat, you think have to make massive decisions, have to do this, have to do that. And I think that's where you do struggle, because you are, it's not about making money. It's not, I mean, money's great. And of course we want to be able to live off of this, but at the end of the day, it's about service. And when you accept that and you embrace that and you lead from those guiding principles, it can make decisions very sticky and muddy. And when you have people on your team or advisors or boards or whatever that just don't feel the same type of way. That's the beauty of being the entrepreneur. You get to pick the people who embrace and embody the same heart of service and the same guiding principles and the same mindset, so that the decisions being made are very thoughtful, versus working for this huge corporation that you no longer control. The smaller and the tight knit you get can be so rewarding.
Absolutely. And isn't that what we have right now? Right? We have this kick butt board of people for Concern Center. They are not only our employees, but our board. And the running joke with the board that I absolutely love is that here I am as this like beacon of ridiculous amounts of caring and empathy. And we needed to surround me with 4 other people who are really the exact opposite of me. They're very caring, but they're boundary driven. They are really clear. They're concise. In some places, they'll just be like, I don't care about that. We're moving on to this other thing. And the running joke is that we needed to identify 4 people to combat the level of unconditional positive love and empathy that I put out into the world just to balance us. That's got to be tough to be those people, because I know it's tough to be on my side. But I have to tell you, it works beautifully. It's also why our relationship works beautifully.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's and we've had so many conversations about this over the last couple of weeks that if we were both like me or both like you, there really would be something missing in terms of that other dynamic.
Absolutely.
So I think that'll be a good podcast episode on here in the future. Most importantly, right now, though, I have a question about this poof that I have going on here. So I'm pointing to my poof on top of my head. You know when people like take the hair, it's only like a certain part of hair, and then they bring it back, and then
The
they
snooky.
Oh, I'm sorry, it has a name?
The snooky.
Okay. So I did it this morning, and I was really happy with it. Okay. And then I wondered if maybe it's not a thing anymore.
Oh, it's always, you're going to talk to me about the styles going out of style?
Well, you might not be the best person for me to
Thank
talk
you.
to about this.
No, nailing it.
Here's what I was thinking. I'm thinking to myself, you know how sometimes, I'm using women specifically, I'm sure men do this, but they've done their hair the same way for 65 years and the style's out, it's gone, but they're holding strong. I'm afraid that this poof is my version of I'm still holding on, but it's not it for me anymore. And I trust that you would tell me, but you don't usually know these things.
Because I'm still wearing shoes from 1990 that are now back in style, just so we're clear.
That's right. You brought them back.
My platform flip-flops, the Y2K ones.
Do you know what I mean when I say like people used to like have
bangs.
the bangs, and it used to like flat down over, right?
Or the ones like this.
Yep.
Like from Full House,
yep,
like
that you used your round brush and then you sprayed it.
With the, yes.
Yep. Yep. Or I used to take mine and push it over to the side and then spray the heck out of this so that it was like a little rainbow over here.
Like
and
like
it
a
was off
swish.
to the side.
Okay.
You know, at some point I thankfully determined that wasn't it and I needed to go in a different direction.
Think I knew you then.
No, it was like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, somewhere around there.
Middle school
I know,
years.
but at least I stopped.
Oh, okay.
You know? So this is still okay?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm not too old to pull it off?
I mean, you are old, but
Right.
not to pull it off. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No. I think it looks good.
Okay. I'm at that weird age in life where I'm starting to do things that feel very authentically me.
We had this conversation last year.
Very aware that it may not be age appropriate.
Well, look, do you see what I'm wearing today? My ears?
Yeah. I didn't know if that was a hair extension, if those were earrings, if you heard a bird on the way in. I didn't know.
They're earrings. And I walk out of the house this morning and my teenage daughter goes, "Wow, Mom, always extra." And I'm like, "Would you like to come with me?" She's like, "Not a chance."
No. I like the color.
They're blue feathers.
Yeah.
They're earrings. But that's the point. They're supposed to look like hair extensions. It's like a
And
little party.
extra.
Yeah.
Right.
They have diamonds at the top. You can't even see
Good.
those.
Excellent. Bonus. Total bonus. Yep. That's good. All right. Good. That was really important that I covered that.
Don't worry. I'll let you know.
Well,
I mean, we could talk about your bras.
I can't. I got some new ones recently.
They're the ones that we should probably talk about. I didn't go with you with those. How's Mark feel about those?
Well, it's an upgrade from where I was. Okay. I'm sorry. We don't all have A boobs. Okay. I'm sorry. Some of us have to have a little extra support.
Yeah, that looks like, you know those Cross My Heart ads on TV with like the old lady women and the cones. I'm like, what is that?
Every single person listening right now is thinking about my boobs.
I'm going to show you a picture of her bras. just Google Cross My Heart. It has the 17 clips in the back because it's so wide.
It is.
The straps are so straight. She has to always wear over the shoulder boulder holder. Oh my God. Remember years ago, you used to be like, I bet you have nothing sexy because sexy doesn't come in A's.
Negative A. Oh my gosh. You know Scott's putting up a picture of Cross Your Heart bras right now. You know that's happening in the background. Yeah.
Hilarious.
What were we even going to talk about
don't
tonight?
know.
I don't know. I do.
I think we were
do
watching
know.
a movie.
I do. So Allie. We need to talk about
Allie.
Allie. God,
Okay.
we love Allie so much. I can't talk too much about Allie because people will steal her, and I don't.
okay.
I can't.
All right.
She is my
We'll
best
talk
kept
offline.
secret. Yeah. So we have this girl named Allie, and I don't know. She does some stuff. We're not going to tell you what it is. She just does some stuff, but she's my favorite. We absolutely love Allie. And so Allie randomly the other day hits me up on the Facebook DMs and sends me a video and says, watch this and talk about it on your show. Did I watch it? Not yet.
Okay.
Because we like to premiere this stuff just first and foremost. I know. Because I do not know. I'm assuming it's fine.
Oh, we don't even know if there's language.
I don't know.
Oh, all
I don't
right.
know. Scott will be on that. The producer.
Where's the button you push?
Which one?
When there's a bad...
Oh, Scott's on it.
Oh, okay.
This is why we go to Rock Fox. Because Scott just does the things.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
We don't know what the heck we're doing.
I think this should become our full-time job. I just want to do this all
Quick side
day.
note.
Yeah.
I did some editing, and I talked to Scott yesterday, and he was like, oh, yeah, I don't know how the editing worked out or whatever. And then he said, but I just trusted that you knew what you were doing. I said, problem one, Scott. You thought that I was the expert here. Let's not. So now Scott and I just know whatever I do is not final. He's just going to decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're all done.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So we have a video that we're going to watch. I don't think it's a long one. I think it's just a little bit. But Allie, our Allie, sent this to us and said, please watch this and talk about it on your show.
Okay.
So
I'm going to show you guys what weaponized incompetence is. It's something my baby daddy loves to use against me very, very well. Last night, I went to bed at like 10. I asked him, hey, can you please clean the bottles, right? And he did. He cleaned the bottles. They're right there. He also did not put dinner away. So there's that. He was in charge of dinner last night, and he just ordered us food. I can't do that because I'm not allowed to do that. But anyway, he left dishes in the sink because I didn't ask him to do that either. So if I were to ask, and he left a pan over there. So if I were to ask him, hey, I thought I asked you to pick up the kitchen last night. Oh, well, you only told me to clean the bottles, and I did clean the bottles. You didn't tell me to put the food away, and you didn't tell me to clean up the rest of it. That's weaponized incompetence. He's playing stupid to basically win an argument. Don't settle for this. And I'm going to start doing videos like this because I can't get out of my situation anytime soon. There are many different forms of abuse, and this is one of them.
Weaponized incompetence is an empathy issue. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That takes forethought, that takes understanding. Either you have empathy and you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes and you choose not to meet their needs, choose to waste their time. Or when someone brings this issue up to you and says, I wish you would be more considerate, you are choosing not to develop or use the skill of empathy. And that is willful ignorance to the harm that you're doing. When it's in the home, someone else is going to have to do the tasks that you failed to do or that you do poorly. There are a lot of things going on here.
what? Gotta go. That's the end of the show. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming today. Weaponized incompetence
I've never heard that before.
is an empathy problem. Allie, sending us the easy videos, huh? Okay. Okay, let's unpack that.
Okay.
Let's unpack that.
Okay, I know you've got a lot of feelings.
I have a lot of feelings.
I know.
I
I'll
had
let you
a
go
lot
first.
of feelings. So my first thought was really interesting when she was talking about how the concept of what she's calling weaponized incompetence is that it's intentional, that the only reason that someone is only doing the bare minimum of what they're being asked to do is because they want to then turn around and say, well, you didn't ask me to do anything else. So let me start with that. I have rarely found people to be that knowingly passive aggressive, right? It's not to say that it has not happened, right? There certainly are plenty of people that would fall into that category. But I think that that's really interesting to think about the concept of I'm pretending not to see or to know that these things need to be done because I just don't want to do them. And that in some way I know is going to impact you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to make sure that I'm doing it in all aspects of our life together. But then when that woman popped on at the end and said that it's an empathy problem, I actually can really relate and connect with that. Mm-hmm. So my question is, if the first part is not necessarily intentional, is the lack of empathy also not intentional?
I think the people who have a lack of empathy are just very self-centered and selfish. Their main priority is, what can I get from this? What will benefit me? What do I want to do? They just haven't been trained or don't care enough to go beyond that. That's what I think. I also think that this was two very different situations. Like, clearly, that is not a healthy relationship. He's doing it on purpose.
You do think he's doing it on purpose?
Absolutely. He doesn't want to be with her. He wants nothing to do with her. He does not care. So he is saying, well, you didn't tell me to do that, so I'm not going to do it. I do not believe he's that lazy or needs instructions. Does he have a chore chart? Does he have a chart on the wall that says, when you wake up, brush your teeth? Like, can you not function as a human being? No, you're absolutely doing this on purpose. And she is trying to build a case to get custody of her kid.
Wow.
Oh, there's a whole lot going on in there. That's what's going on in that video. However, the debrief, I do believe, was interesting.
I freaking love you so much.
What?
I freaking, you're
Scott,
like number
what do you
one.
think? Did you agree
The
with me?
backstory.
That is the backstory.
Scott, you're on Team Rebecca again?
I'm not on any team here.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly, I could go into more detail.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's fascinating.
I think the guy's an idiot.
He is an
be
idiot,
honest.
but he's doing it on purpose.
Do you think he lacks empathy?
I don't. There's not enough information there for me to judge his lack of empathy. But I think he's an idiot. I think he's probably inherently lazy.
If we rewatch that, she mentioned numerous times, there's things that I can't do, and there's things that we should watch it again. After you tell me your opinion.
The whole thing?
Not yet. Hold on. What do you think?
Wow.
And now she's documenting it to have proof, which is a joke, but whatever.
Really?
100%. I'm going to go Google her. I'm going to go find out.
Oh my
I'm going to look
gosh,
on her.
Fascinating. So let me tell you what was going on for me. I'm like, wow, that's a really difficult relationship situation. We have massive breakdowns in communication. We have tremendous amount of anger and resentment. We have poor communication.
On both sides.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have poor communication in terms of really getting at the heart of why we're feeling the way that we are. We're lacking self-awareness to be able to say, I am feeling this way. We both are at two different ends of the spectrum, and we're both pushing really hard on each other as a way of protection. And if we could just break down some of those protections, which usually has to do with a lack of trust because trust has been harmed in some way, then maybe we could get to this resolution associated with why these things aren't happening the way that they can and should be happening. Because I'm hearing her say, I'm tired and I need help and I don't want to have to tell you I have to do it. And I'm hearing him push back and basically say, I don't feel respected, I don't feel cared about, I don't feel whatever. And their shadows are crossing, you know? They're both like hitting each other, maybe not physically, but like colliding with each other in this scenario. So I hear that and I think there's so much pain there, there's so much hurt there, there's so much resentment there. We really got to get at the base of where this is coming from. And of course she's going to call it weaponized incompetence because from her perspective, she very much feels like it is an assault on their relationship, on her as a person, on all of those things.
Well, because he has the expectation that this is your job to do.
According to her, yeah.
Exactly. So my guess is she just assumed that I'm also thinking there's a lot of assumptions here. I mean, do you have that conversation? My husband and I do. It is very clear. We know exactly who's doing what in the household and who's responsible for what. And then there are some minor gray areas, but we also are very clear that those minor gray areas is where the arguments start, and we don't like to argue. So we define that. It's very clear. I always go grocery shopping. Always. That is my job. If there's no food in the house, it is my fault because that is my job. It's not you should have noticed there was no food and you go get some. That's that's not how it works. It also is, I make the food and serve the food, and he always cleans it up. So if it's still a mess in the morning, it will remain a mess until he comes home from work because that's his job.
Did you have a verbal conversation about this? Oh, you did early on in your marriage?
Yes.
Okay.
When we moved in together, very clear expectations.
But here's why. Because your husband is the one who wants to make sure all the things are done.
That's
and
true.
You're a willing participant in having the conversation.
Yes.
It's usually the opposite.
Agreed. He is very much the manager of the home.
Yes.
He needs to
He has standards,
be comfortable.
he has expectations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's probably why we did it.
Yeah.
But it is very, very clear. But the gray areas are not so much.
But I think what's interesting in this is this concept of empathy, right? I have this feeling that over the next however many years, empathy, compassion, vulnerability, all of those words are just going to be used more and more and more. And the concept for me of associating this with a lack of empathy really has me drawing upon the question of if a lack of empathy is intentional. And when I asked you, you said that usually you think that comes from a place of selfishness. Well, is selfishness intentional? Are people knowing? Are they knowing that they're selfish? Is it a lack of just not being able to be taught? Can you teach empathy? This is what this is bringing up for me.
I think so. I think it depends on how you were raised at the end of the day. Because if you're raised in a household that's always like putting other people first, always, and you never put yourself first, that's how you're going to be when you're older. And so then you struggle with, well, I'm always giving, and I don't ever take time for myself. If you are brought up in a household that is always, you're being catered to as the child and your needs are always met first, then as you become an adult, you're going to be very confused on why you need to care about anybody else before your needs are met. It's just, I believe, in your core foundation. I think it comes down to, I've been reading a lot of articles about hugging recently because I'm not a hugger. I don't like doing that. But, and it was not an expectation in my family. There's a lot of families that are like, you need to hug and kiss everybody hello and hug and kiss everybody goodbye. I don't remember that being part of my life when I was little. It's just because I don't remember doing that. But some of my good friends' families, that's an expectation. And what I find interesting is my girls are hug and kissers. They hug and kiss everybody hello and goodbye. Not by me saying it. But I was reading an article about some parents feel very strongly that it should be up to the child whether they want to hug or kiss somebody, and nobody should be offended if they don't want to do it. Where other parents will say, absolutely not. That's a form of respect. But it's a physical boundary, right? That's very different than not greeting somebody. Saying hello doesn't hurt, And so I think that comes across as if you force somebody to do something when they're younger that's just not natural, that just becomes a building block a little bit. And so when you talk about selfishness or empathy, I think they kind of go hand in hand based on your foundation.
It's really
and your environment.
I have this thought that empathy is something, the ability to get into the experience of another human being is something that innately is present in a majority of humans. I do think that there are outlier humans for which empathy is just not at all, right? Antisocial personality disorder, those types of things.
Sociopaths.
Yeah. I remember my niece, Lily, being 2 and me sitting with her reading a book. And we were reading a book about a woodpecker that was pecking this tree. And at 2, she pointed to the tree and she said, "Tree, ouch." No one taught her that. She doesn't have any clue at the age of 2 what that experience is like of that tree, right? So I remember thinking at that time, gosh, there is this innate sense of human beings needing to be able to connect with others and understand the experience of others. I do then believe it is either reinforced or beaten out of you based on the experiences that you have as a child or sort of all the way
or
up.
trauma or whatever happened. Yeah.
I know even now I will come home from the grocery store and I'll have all the groceries in my hand and my son will walk in first. And if he is not holding that door and it slams, in my face, I will say, "Uh-oh, looks like you forgot that I was standing here," right? Or I will say, "Ooh, what do we think that felt like to me?" And he'll immediately run back and say, "Sorry about that, Mom," right? But he's also an incredibly empathic kid. So I do think that there's these moments that is just innate in him and that we need to fine tune that through the experiences that we have. In this scenario with this video, I'm getting the interpretation that the intentionality associated with the empathy is the part that I'm hung up on. That this person is intentionally withholding empathy.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to be with her anymore.
For a particular purpose.
Yeah.
But she's also withholding empathy.
Exactly.
And I think we forget sometimes that empathy is not just this one-way situation, right? And some people would hear that and be like, "Oh my gosh, what is she withholding empathy?" Well, she's withholding empathy of being able to understand why he's acting that way in the first place, right? There's always reasons why people protect their empathy.
Right.
It doesn't mean those reasons are correct, but it does mean that there's always reasons why people are protecting. And if neither side, right, I went through this personally. I remember in my situation thinking I was 100% correct. I had every reason in the world to be correct. And still, when I was 100% correct, I still was lacking empathy for the person on the other side of the coin.
Absolutely. I think for me, it was when she said when she questioned him on it, he was like, "Well, you didn't tell me to do it." He didn't say, "Oh my God, the baby was up and I forgot about it," or there was no other excuse. That would have been an empathetic, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I will do it right now." Right. But he specifically said, "Well, you didn't tell me to do it. So why should I do it?" That to me is very intentional.
Interesting. And I can say with 100% certainty, if you came to me and said, "Hey, weaponized incompetence, you only did the one thing you were supposed to do and not the other things you were supposed to do," you're not going to get an empathic response out of me either.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
So the other side of that is, again, we should have them on the show. Bring them on the show. Let's do a session. Come on in, guys. We'll just session number 101 here. We've got this, right? But I'm so curious about some of the backstory associated with that. But I really appreciated the part where she said that it is an empathy problem. And what I would say further than that is that it's an empathy problem on both sides. And I get better than a normal human how hard it is to give empathy when your defenses are up, when you have to be guarded, when you've been harmed in some way, when trauma has happened. I completely understand that. And in my own personal experience, I can tell you that it is at those times when I leaned into my empathy that I found my closest connection to feeling like the truest version of myself. It was the exact opposite of what my head was telling me to do, but it was exactly what I was supposed to be doing.
Well, you sent me that picture this morning.
Yeah.
That said, unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance.
Yeah.
And I found that, excuse me, to be super interesting because one of my challenges is setting boundaries and respecting them for myself. I'm pretty comfortable and accepting of other people's boundaries. But when it comes to what is okay in my life or what is okay for me is challenging. And combining that with the unconditional love is just a really interesting concept for me, because sometimes, not that my love is conditional, but my level of acceptance is conditional in a lot of ways. There has to be certain standards met or I'm just not interested. And I can't look past that.
You're not interested in even engaging.
Correct.
You're going to boundary that up.
Oh, right. Yeah. All done.
Right.
I have zero tolerance. And if there's no learning, obviously everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has their own baggage or issues, blah, 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 blah. But if there's a consistent pattern that is now just showing me your personality, all done.
Yep.
All done. But maybe that's a lack of empathy too.
Or it is because of how much empathy you have that the need to create those boundaries exist. In my own personal experience, I was this unconditional, highly tolerated of all things person, ended up being taken advantage of and getting hurt, shutting down and sort of like closing off the parts of myself. I was very boundaried. I was very rule bound. You know, I almost like kept away that part of myself for a long time. And then very recently moved more into, oh my gosh, I'm home, right? I'm back to this part of myself that is very unconditional and loving and empathic. But I'm also seeing that full tolerance coming back as well. What's different is I don't feel the need to suppress that, or I don't feel the need to boundary that again. Instead, I seem to be in this interesting place of fully accepting of my unconditional love and my unconditional tolerance. I know that I won't just keep accepting different treatment that happens to me, but it doesn't change my unconditional love. And those two things, that's a huge shift for me, because my unconditional love, when it had tolerance on it, did change the unconditional love. It was conditional again. And when I moved more toward unconditional love and acceptance and tolerance with some appropriate boundaries, it didn't change the love that I had for these people. It just means that I have some protections in place. I don't know if I'm explaining that in a way that anyone can understand.
No, I can.
But it really has felt like a shift for me. It is why over the last however many months, when all the stuff has been happening to me, that I don't go back to a place of resentment and anger. I still am in this really beautiful, loving, embracing, you know, almost like, oh, I see you for all of your flaws and I totally understand it and it's okay. I still accept you for who you are. I can't continue to engage in the same way that I have engaged before, but doesn't mean I love you any less. Doesn't mean I'm not still here. Doesn't mean I don't still care. I'm not going to invest in the same way that I've been able to before, but my love didn't change. Before, my love changed.
Interesting.
I was like, nope, you're off the list.
Okay.
And I have to create this boundary and I need to not engage with you anymore because it's unsafe for me. And the only way that I can protect myself is through conditional love.
Got it.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yes. It's funny. It's funny you say that, because then maybe I've been loving unconditionally all along. It's just my boundary setting, because I don't necessarily feel different from people that might be perceived that I've cut out or cut back on. It's just the level of engagement. I have no other issues towards you. I just can't have you a consistent part of my life because it's making me crazy. But it doesn't mean that I wouldn't be there for you. It doesn't mean I wouldn't participate in your whatever. It's just not going to be the level that it was at.
I think one of the telltale signs for me is that in those types of relationships, if you look at that person and instead of feeling anger and resentment and nastiness and, oh my God, how come you can't get me your act together and all of those things, the feeling for me is, oh, okay.
It's so funny you say that. That's exactly how I feel about my own father.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
Really?
I've never been angry. I've never been mad. Nothing. I feel sorry.
Yeah.
I feel sorry, but I've clearly cut him out. I clearly want nothing to do with him. But what do I always say to you? If he ever came to my door and wanted to have a conversation, absolutely.
Yeah, you'd welcome him in, give him a cup of coffee, have him 100%, sit on the couch.
100%. But there are certain things that would have to come out of that conversation for me to move out of that place.
Absolutely.
But I don't look at him and have anger, rage, nothing,
Mm-hmm.
none of that. Mm-hmm. And never have it, even as a child. Because I get it. I accept you where you at. I accept all those things.
Yeah.
And I don't like feeling
unconditional.
anger. Mm-hmm.
That is unconditional. We don't see that as unconditional.
No,
right?
I didn't define until you just explained it the way you did. I never defined it as that. I just defined it as clear. I don't know how else to be.
It is not like a passive aggressive, it's literally I see you.
Yes.
I see you in all of your whoever you are, your flaws, all of these things. And you know what? It's okay. Mm-hmm. And I want you to go ahead and be you. I don't necessarily agree with it. I'm not on board for it. can't be around for it, but it's okay for you to be who you are. And I'm going to just accept that, even if I'm choosing to not participate in it. That's a shift.
But it's also participating in it, right? Like, I always tell you, I don't like feeling a certain way. I need my body to feel homeostasis at all times. Otherwise, I am a complete mess. And for whatever reason, this idea of unconditional has always remained a part of my life. I don't hold grudges. I remember one of the first times you watched Philip and I had an argument.
Oh, yeah.
And we legit had an argument. We had an argument. It was probably over something stupid. And then it was probably 30 seconds, but it was like intense.
Yep.
And then we both looked at each other. We're like, we're really sorry. We hugged each other, kissed each other, and moved on. And you were like, I need to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. I said, what just happened there?
I go, that was it.
We're all done. We've moved on. We're all set now. Y'all aren't holding on to that for weeks?
Never. But that's always been us. That's always been me. I've never experienced anything like that. I don't hold grudges. I don't do any of those things. So, but I need to talk about it in the moment, and I need to get past it because I don't like that feeling. And if
we need to get back to homeostasis.
Always.
Interesting.
Yeah. Always. I mean, how many times have I left the hair salon with foils in my hair to drive up to somebody's door to be like, you're not answering your phone. We're talking about this because I'm not sure what happened and I don't like how this feels. And I'm sure you don't either. And I am very confused. I mean, plenty of times.
Yeah.
I do not like that feeling of if I did something, then we need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I also hide it from other people. I will never let them know if they did something. That's my own problem.
You won't let someone else know if they've done something?
Correct.
That's upset you?
Right. For the most part.
But the opposite. If you think you've done something that's upset someone, then you have to. So do you get yourself back to homeostasis in the times when you've been harmed?
Not without you. Remember we were in the car the other day and I get a text message out of the blue from someone and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? You're like, what are you talking about? And I went into like full-fledged rack my brain of how I offended this person. And you're like, I am very confused. But that's just how it is.
Yeah. That's funny.
So.
Well, Allie, how about send us a few more zingers? How about that? Which leads me into the last thing that I wanted to just mention today.
Okay.
And that is we are on the social media.
Great.
We are officially on the social media channels. Do you want to know what channels we're on?
I sure do.
This is what I'm hoping. I need people to engage with us. I want people to write to us. I want to be like
maybe
reading
they have a question.
people's. What is the pendulum out for? I can't. If the social media is a good idea.
Are people going to join our social media?
What is that? What is doing? It says no.
It says yes.
It says yes.
It says yes.
Oh, I
are
hope
people
they do.
going to like our channels? Yeah.
Oh, good. Are they going to engage with us?
Are people going to engage with us? Oh, look at it. It says yes.
Oh, wow. That's a hard yes right there.
Look at it.
I want people, this is my dream. That people are like, hey, Erin and Pax. Hey, love your show.
Can you ask the pendulum?
Yeah, I have a question. I want you to talk about this, right?
Okay.
And then I want to be like, here, we're hearing from Betty from Texas. Yeah, Betty from Texas. What do you have to say, right?
It's like Ask Abby.
Yes.
I know.
Wow.
Ask us all the questions.
I love that. I want people to
Anything from the fashion poofs.
Oh, yeah.
To
right. Hey, where do you get your dollar
colors?
store makeup,
Right,
Rebecca?
Right.
Yeah.
To how should you decorate your room? Send us a picture of your room. We'll rip that right apart.
Yes. I love that all of the examples you gave are as superficial as they can. You can also ask us questions associated with empathy, all the things. So here's our social media channels, okay? Let me just get this straight because I'm over 40, so I got to make sure it's right. Number 1, we have a Facebook group. Here's what I'm hoping happens on the Facebook group. It's just like the most beautiful people in the entire world who all come together and support one another. And it's so much empathy and love in one place. And someone asks the question and someone's like, let me give you some more hope. And like, it's just this amazing, beautiful community of no trolls. Okay. You think we're going to have trolls?
100%.
No, we're not.
You have to.
Listen.
You got to have someone who's like, because you change those trolls over.
I know. That's what I was going to say. So,
yeah,
my amazing niece, 15.
I know.
She runs our social media channels.
She's great.
Because who do you hire to run your social media channels?
The coolest people in the world. Yeah.
An absolute teen, right?
Not my daughter, because she thinks I'm a super loser.
I know. Well,
but
she
if
does
you
like
asked
me,
my
though.
daughter,
Maybe I could ask
if
her.
you asked my daughter, then she would do it.
She might help us out. I know. So I basically, she was like, okay, what do you want me to do about the trolls? I said, first of all, what is a troll? And why would someone be trolling on the page? And so she told me all about it. And what's my response? Oh,
Give
not
them
a
more
problem,
love.
honey. We're going to love them more. And she's like, do you want me to say this, this, and this? And I'm like, absolutely not. No, that person needs more love, right? That needs more love. And she's like, maybe you should let Rebecca respond to them. Oh, great.
She did not say that.
Now we're not going to have. We're
Any
not going to
friends.
have much of a show at all after that. And I said, no. I said, but here's the thing. Like, we really want the fewest number of trolls possible. If you just need attention and love, that's okay. You can just send us a comment. We don't need to like write the nasty things on the messages. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's our Facebook group. It's called, I don't know, Scott will put it up on the thing because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay. Number 2. We have an Instagram page. What? Instagram.
I do love the gram.
We are going to be Instagram. And so the thing about the Instagram is we're going to be posting old pictures of us. We're going to be backstory pictures. We're going to just do all of that kind of stuff.
Those pictures are from actual cameras.
I know.
Because there were no smartphones.
To crank it to the side and bring it to phase drugs.
Phase!
to get it. Yeah. We had, yeah. And again, Allie, who does things that we don't talk about because we don't want anyone else to steal her from us, edits them so that they look like iPhone photos, but they really came from Phase. So anyway, we're on Instagram, which I'm also really excited about. Next, this is a big one.
Oh, what is it?
We're on the TikTok.
On the TikTok.
We're on the TikTok.
Okay.
Can you believe it?
Nope. I don't even have a TikTok.
I don't even, me neither.
Guess we gotta get one.
I don't
even know
know
what it is.
So Lily, my niece, says that we just give her the videos.
Oh.
And we have a ton of videos.
all
So I
kinds.
just created this, Google share, and now all the videos are up there, and then she works the magic, and before you know it, our videos are up there.
Great.
So I said, all you're saying is I just need to keep making videos. She said, correct. She just does the rest.
Okay.
That's why she's awesome.
I say we invite her to follow us around.
Okay.
She can just document her and Taylor.
Her and Taylor
They
together.
can document
I know. Good
all
luck
the things.
to them.
Just don't
but-
shoot us from behind.
No, or of the side angle. It's
Listen,
not great
angle.
for me right now, but I know.
Chin up.
I know.
Chin up.
So on the TikTok, we're going to be
I do hope they
posting.
get you in your bra.
Whatever. Whatever. I would really like people to know that my bras are cute. Because people are walking away
The
right
only
now.
picture I have of you in your bra is when you put the Power Rangers helmet on. Oh, yeah. Standing in the
thank
bra.
God, when you posted that on my birthday post, you cut that out. And I didn't know. So I clicked on that picture. I thought if she just posted a picture of me in my bra
And
online,
underwear. It was a
full on.
Full on picture.
I cannot, thank God. You're like, of course I did. Like, I should know that you would just do that.
You don't trust me.
I know. Well, so we're on the TikToks.
Okay.
And now we have these videos that we just put out there. Now, here's what's really important. What's on Instagram is not going to be what's on TikTok, is not going to be what's on the Facebook group. Okay. I asked Lily to please try and keep them as separate as possible because I don't want to see the same content across multiple channels.
It'll be boring.
Do I know what I'm doing? No. But I think that's how it should be. I'm embracing,
your
my little card
non-intelligence
over there.
That's right. You don't know what you're doing, but yet you are pushing this forward.
Like people who want to be on social media want to watch the video of you with the espresso bean on the couch, and then they want to go to a picture of me with some hair extensions before we went to Friendly's on the Instagram.
We got those at CVS.
I know.
15 years ago when they were not cool.
I know, still have it. It's in a drawer because I keep everything. Okay, so now we're on a Facebook group where we can all just embrace and love and be a wonderful community.
Love it.
We're on Instagram where we can show all of the pictures of the nonsense. We will make sure that the picture of Rebecca with her lip oil is front row center on that. We're also on the TikTok, which is just all the videos that we're going to be. And then we have a website.
Yeah.
Now, when people go to that website, I'm going to need people to not come flooding me with requests to fix their website because it's so great.
I mean, no, you know what the best is? Our journey.
Oh,
everybody needs to read our journey. Scott, did you like our journey?
You like the journey?
It was awesome.
Yeah. I believe Scott's exact quote was pure gold. Pure gold.
Yep. And we're not even making that up. In fact, that was watered down.
Fortunately, we skipped some parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did not put the pictures of us in the strippers parking lot yet.
Oh, yep, that's coming. Well, they'd probably be on Instagram. But that website, I mean, and we nailed it.
I know.
We nailed it. And when I say we, I meant me, because I don't think you even know the login credentials. It's okay.
You never give me the login.
Well,
even in our
jobs. Reasons for that. So on the website are a couple cool things that people are going to like. Our episodes are going to be posted there. Our episodes are also going to be posted on every single place where anyone can ever get a podcast ever.
Okay.
So check those out. But head over to our website because you can send us a message on the website. If you want to contact us, you can send a form through that page. You also are going to see that if there's anything that you want us to like try or do like as a sponsorship or whatever, I don't know how that works. I'm not even sure what that word really means.
We'll figure it out.
Right. But
what's the website?
Oh, thank you, Scott. That's a good prompt. That's the producer. The website is www.themorelovepodcast.com. And a new page we just added is called Shit We Love. And that is anything that we ever talk about on the show that we just absolutely cannot get enough of.
My favorite is you just made that up the other day and out of nowhere you texted me. You're like, where'd you get the blah, blah, blah? I think it was the tarot cards. Yeah. And I'm like, well, which ones? Because you didn't even know I got new ones.
I know.
And then you asked me to give an explanation of why I like them. And when I sent you my explanation, you wrote, that's not good enough.
That's not it. That is not it. Thank you.
And I'm like,
thank you.
What?
It was something about mythical pony rides or something. Who the heck knows what you were talking about?
It was pretty good.
It's something about spirits speaking to Rebecca. I'm like, okay, thank you. That's really great. I'm going to write something else. But anyway, we're on all the social channels. Follow us, like us, share us. The important part is that you join us in this awesome community of people who want more love.
That's right.
And want to learn more about themselves and other people. We're very excited to be on this journey with you. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, see you next time. I loved that.
Me too. Isn't empathy amazing?
Well, we're amazing. I don't know about all this empathy stuff.
That's fine. I accept you wherever you are.
Oh, God.
I love you.
I love you too.
And if you love us, please like and subscribe to More Love, the Power of Empathy podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
See you next time.